You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
G'day everyone, welcome back to Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. For those of you who don't know me and that are just joining us for the first time on this channel, please allow me to introduce myself. My name's Chris and I'm your host. Please remember, everyone, give us a like and subscribe down below if you aren't already. Help with a thumbs up. It helps the algorithms of YouTube to get my video out to a lot wider audience and helps expand the channel and brings my video to a greater, wider, beautiful amount of people. That's what it's all about, supporting one another. But look, I just kind of wanted to do a quick update for you because I've just finished doing a meditation in the last hour. And I also have just finished doing a video that I recorded early hours this morning that I'm in the process of downloading so I can prepare to upload it. And I've also just finished watching a video just recently in my time since I've come back from my meditation that only went for a few minutes, but it kind of validates and confirms what I came back and wrote down essentially from my meditation. Now, I don't know. Look, I'm just going to put this out there. Please leave your comments down below if you can. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well, because I do love hearing people's input, and I like taking constructive criticism, but also am open to new information as well that could possibly help me have an understanding. I feel that I'm able to intuitively discern through certain amounts of bullshit that's going on, and I'm able to see what's coming very shortly. And it's been a blessing to be able to see like this with open eyes and an open heart, because it allows me to live in freedom without fear. Now, when I say with open eyes and an open heart and living free without fear, it actually is revelational to a degree when you live like this, because with your intuition, as it grows, your levels of fear go down. And that's a good thing, because you no longer have to live in fight or flight syndrome, or looking over your shoulder, or worried with anxiety as to what is going to happen next for you, or for us as a civilization. Now, in saying that, I intuitively came back this morning. I've got a little book here that I just write my little things down, my little bullet notes on sometimes when I come back from meditations, and then I go and write out exactly the feelings, exactly, and also the recall of my experiences as well. But what I got from this, just in bullet form, this is basically about what's about to transpire, and I believe it's between the next 2 to 3 months. And I'm only putting this out there, as I said. This is what I intuitively feel from myself. And this is just from, as I said, bullet form, okay? You can see the little asterisks there, okay? But this is what I think is coming and what we need to prepare ourselves that's about to happen. Now, this is what I call the DS's last stand against humanity, the global surgical operation that's about to roll out on behalf of the military alliance, and those that are upstairs that are sick and tired of waiting for this bullshit game to be over. I think most of those good forces are sick and tired of it. They're tired of the game. They're tired of the movie. I know I am. How about all of you? It's time this movie ended. But this is what I've intuitively come back and written down, okay? And I want you to just bear with me. And if you have any comments that you'd like to share, please leave them with me down below. It'd be really greatly appreciated. But also, if you feel or resonate with anything that I also am saying, please also leave your comments there as well, because it's good to validate one another that we feel this way, knowing full well that there is nothing to fear. Because I'll give you a quick acronym now for the actual word fear. I learnt this when I was in rehab, and I'll say it again to everyone that hasn't seen my other video about overcoming addictions and beating your personal ailments. The word fear can be broken down in an acronym. It's FEAR. Everything and run, or face everything and recover. FEAR. Fear. You can everything and run. You get what I'm saying? Or you can face everything and recover. Or reclaim. Okay? Here are my asterisk bullet points that I've put down. They're actually asterisks, but I call them bullets for myself. Sorry. It's just the Aussie way. Okay, we need to prepare for what is about to transpire on Terra Earth for all of us. We have to prepare mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, okay, for what's about to come. And the only way you can do that is by opening your mind and your heart to new information that you have not been exposed to, that could possibly fill in the gaps or pieces of the puzzle that essentially you did not get whilst growing up. Now, I know that there are a lot of people out there that are unfortunately asleep with the program that's been put over them, the veil, what I would call mind programming, MK Ultra, most of them, mind fracturing. They've done a lot of this to the population. I believe 9/10 of the population of this planet have been highly exposed to MK Ultra in the last 60 years on a massive scale, including generationally. Oh, yeah, our kids, all of us exposed. Okay, and I think personally that people really need to just take a step back from what we think we know and just take a moment, take a deep breath, because we're all going to get very much smothered very shortly. Okay, now I want you to listen carefully to what I've written down from this. A massive shift in our perception of reality and what we think to be knowing as true that is actually false is going to be unraveled before your eyes, to say the least. Everything you thought was real. Now, I can't say the actual word because I don't want the algorithms to get their panties up in a bunch at YouTube or any of them fact checkers. So I'll just say this. The initials. The DS. Make no mistake. The DS are making plans for their final stand, and their cards are on the table. Do not make a mistake right now. Do not be complacent in how you approach everything right now. Do not be complacent with your attitude, your livelihoods, your lifestyle, your children, your house, your personal effects, your family, your friends. These are the more important. The family and your friends and your loved ones and your pets are the most important thing. Your effects can be replaceable, okay? But your family, friends, pets, and everyone else is more important. But make no mistake, these people are making their plans for their final stand because they are in massive fear of what is about to transpire. And they've kept us in fear using an indoctrination system of religion to keep us in fear of what's coming from up there, including using movies throughout Hollywood in the last 60, 80 years to 100, 80 years. They've been using movies as a means to keep us in fight or flight syndrome of what is about to come from the sky. I've done enough information and read enough ancient texts that predate the Bible and how the Bible was written and rewritten from these texts, left out important information along the ways and replaced with metaphoric isms along the way, as metaphors and isms along the way. And this is something they've feared for thousands of years, because they knew that their time was going to run out. Unfortunately, their ignorance and their arrogance in this time right now has been their undoing. They never thought it would happen in their lifetime. But make no mistake, they're making their plans to take these bastards, or to take us down. But within those plans, just remember, there are plans always within plans that remain 5 steps ahead of the game. Okay? The last of the dark rulers of this old world have been removed at the moment. They have been removed. And the DS assets are now subject to open season via those military assets and those above us. It is now open season. And now I'm not saying that as in you, the people, go out and be in any way patriotic or try to take up arms in any way. I'm not being irresponsible in making that statement. I will not. I am not suggesting that, nor do I condone such action. What I am suggesting is that it is now open season via those forces that are in control of this situation to somewhat massive global degree that I see. And those of you that disagree with me, fine, please, that's okay. I welcome your opinion. Please leave your comments below. I welcome it. Okay, but those that do resonate with what I am saying and what I am feeling and how I'm intuitively navigating through this right now, please leave those comments as well. I'd love to hear your feedback. I believe it's open season via those military forces and those forces that are above, that they have been fearing for a very long time. They are here. They are en masse. I can guarantee you now that if they were to take off their cloaking devices up there right now, not one bit of sunlight would get through. That's how many of them are up there. And that's who our military alliance, our global military alliance, are working with very closely, including our own space fleets that we've had in operation for over 60 years. Okay, that's how deep this goes. Here's the next bullet point. Their final game cards are on the table and about to play them, and they are going to try and hold humanity to ransom as a human shield, as they have feared what is coming for thousands of years. Reverse projection through religion. Okay, I believe that is the grand armies of the heavens that have returned, that we were supposed to be in fearfulness of. The collapse of their world is imminent and not ours. Now, what happens when you corner a rabid dog? What happens? They will lash out. A dog is dangerous if you corner them and they are rabid. And they are going to do anything they can to maintain their freedom. Same as the deep state will also, DS, I should say, the DS will do anything to maintain their control over the masses and populace. The same as a dog will do anything whilst it's cornered to maintain its freedom from being captured. Perfect reason, logic and rationale. That's critical thinking. They're using, again, reverse projection in order to keep us in fear. Remember what I said about fear. Everything and run, or face everything and recover or reclaim. There is no war that is coming globally. There will be no thermonuclear fallout. They will not be allowed to use these weapons or their exotic weapons that they've been creating, and also that have been left behind by negative forces in place to take down us in their stead, if anything was to happen to them, which has happened subsequently. They have been removed. Okay, the Sakar Nabu were removed months ago, and so were the Draco Reptilian factions that have been on this planet for thousands of years. I'm now talking about something that's higher up. I don't even have a word or a name for it, but I do know that they are part of the head of what I would consider to be the head of the snake. The head of it all. Like, that's what I see. intuitively my mind is a head. Okay, and I don't know what it is, but all I see flashing to me is a head, and I'm seeing head has been taken out. I don't know. I didn't know what this particular thing was until, as I said earlier, the particular video that I watched after coming downstairs from my meditation. And I've just received from this video a validation from our lovely Elena Danan. Bless you, sister. I love being intuitively connected because when I I don't normally put out predictions and things like this or say too much. I just talk to my neighbor about this who's awake about this stuff. I just talk about it, but she's even said to me, Chris, you said that stuff 3 months ago and look what's happened. And I've thought to myself, maybe it's time that I put these things out there because I don't like being right. No one likes being right. But at the same time, it's actually quite refreshing to know that I see through the bullshit. It's very refreshing. When you see with an open eyes and an open heart and an open mind, there is no fear. Especially when you already know that you exist outside this framework. I'm eternal. So are you. All right. Next bullet point. Expect. Well, as I said, previous bullet point, there will be no war. There will be no exotic weapons. There will be no thermonuclear warheads being used or fallout. Okay, so just remember that. One, before I go on to the next bullet point, I'll give you just a quick heads up. Most of the missile silos around the planet had been visited between the 1960s, 70s, and early 80s via off-world groups. I consider these now to be those that are here now en masse. Okay, they shut down back then in those decades. Each missile silo was powered up as if it was readying to launch without the master controllers in the control room moving and turning the key to activate it. These things fired up, powered up, ready to launch in such a way in sequence that it looked like it was a real hack as such, and it was preparing for a real live launch. Now, these things powered down after these ships overhead had basically disappeared because we had reports of the gates and the gate personnel and military police reporting that these ships were above their bases at the gates and above the silos during these decades. Many whistleblowers have come forth. And they said later on, upon inspection, the inspectors have said that each warhead inside each one of these nuclear missiles was depleted of its yield capacity. In other words, they're freaking useless. They basically incapacitated with the frequency and energy that these ships were emitting. They were able to somehow use form of technology on board to drain these missiles of their capabilities of yielding a blast that's capable of taking out a complete city or an entire populace. Now, what's that say to you is about what bullshit is spewing out of the news media about possible nuclear war. It doesn't mean just those missiles. It means all nuclear material has been removed. These people have no ways of using it. But, I mean, they've made up other weapons. We've got directed energy weapons now. Okay, DEWs, DEWs, directed energy weapons. We've got rail guns. We've got, what do they call them? Rods of God. They drop from the sky at Mach, whatever Mach velocity they reach. I think they reach Mach 5 or 10, roughly by the time they've dropped from outer orbit down to Earth and penetrate roughly 3 to 4 miles in the crust to take out a complete DUMBS. They've come up with other ways. This is all Tesla tech that was suppressed. But don't make no mistake, these bastards will try and use these things. And that leads me into my next point. Expect some form of manipulated events to happen, such as FFs. Get me? I believe they are going to use these manipulated events in order to try and still maintain control, so that you actually hand over some form of consent to them to look after you, which will only lead to your own demise, because they do not care about you. You need to be sovereign and stand in your own being and in your own alignment, in your own sense of love and truth and strength, belief in creation and creator. That will give you the strength that you need, your armor of God, the armor of creation, to stop these bastards from penetrating you or keeping you in fear or down in a negative frequency whatsoever. Do not fear. Whatever they think they can pull off in front of you on these TV screens that you might watch at night, listening to their profuse spewing out of their mouths, profuse spew coming forth from their mouths on these MS platforms, MS news platforms. If you are going to listen to what they're saying on the news, take what they've said upside down and turn it right way up. That's the truth. That's how they're telling you what they're doing. I may be a starseed, but I'm also a patriot. Okay? Plain and simple. There is no two ways about it. You're either on the light side or the dark. Okay? And your power comes from that middle. Okay? The balance. I want you to also just remember there could be a possible, because remember now, they've got their stats coming in from the so-called jibber jabberoo. Okay? And they're starting to see now, after the out globally, I'm not going to say these words because I'm not going to let them algorithms upset me or take my stuff down. But I am patriotic in spirit right now, and as you can tell in my voice and the tone that I'm using, that I take no shit. They can pry my weapons from my fingers, from my cold dead fingers, before I give up my freedom. But expect a possible BS wave. And they will use this as a means to lock. Okay? By all means, stay out of the way. As much as they're going to use that as a means to keep us as a human shield from them being taken, right? That's also code for operations to go ahead. The surgical global synchronistic strike that Mr. Alex Collier spoke of about a week ago now. So that would be code for me to say that that is actually an operation that will go ahead, and when it does, the LD that they're going to use as a means to try and combat this so-called wave is actually a means for the military to come in under ML. Get me? I'll put them up all in little quotations on the video for you to see. I believe that's a way of them coming in and implementing that MS in order to take the last of these that are running around without their effete rulers telling them what to do anymore, as they have been taken out themselves. What do you think? What do you think? Am I possibly right on that? Expect to possibly see maybe secretly utilized technology that's been in existence for possibly the last 25, 30 years. I'd say that, at least 35 years. Holographic in nature, it's called Project Bluebeam. Expect things like that to be holographically projected in order to create another manipulated event. A false sense of narrative of what could be coming from the sky, projecting that it could be evil. Don't believe it. It's bullshit. I will say it. I'm an Aussie. Take me as I am. It's all bullshit. Their plan is undone. Make no mistake. I see through it. Expect the unexpected. Stay frosty and alert to a degree like a soldier would be. Be vigilant, but without taking up arms or resorting to violence. Stay frosty and alert. Okay? Expect the unexpected. Expect the possible announcement, maybe, of maybe a one world government, one world religion, or that the Vatican is welcoming their space brothers and willing to indoctrinate them into their system of ideology. Oh, God. They wanted to baptize them, I heard. God, as if anything like that would even allow themselves to be. God, the arrogance of the Vatican itself. God. Sorry, I got no words. Sorry, I've got to laugh. Personally, I think all of the above of what I've just said are possible. All of the above. Expect the unexpected, people, and stay frosty and vigilant. All of what I just mentioned is going to happen, possibly. I'm not saying it's going to happen. There's a great high probability of it happening on our time, and you just don't need to be in fear of it. Don't play into it. Stay out of it. Those who want to be on the streets, that want to do the stupidity and loot and pillage and riot, because that basically, to a degree, if they want to try and risk ML, I won't say the word, if they want to risk that and be possibly arrested to be taken to a site out of place and out of mind, out of sight for a time being until the op is over, so be it. Risk it at your own peril. You know, don't say that you weren't warned to stay out of it. Don't say that you weren't warned to stay off the streets or keep indoors during a so-called LD. Best advice, and I'm going to follow this up with a positive right here for you, okay? Best advice, stay in a heart space. Stay in peace and stay in love and joy, a high vibration, high frequency. Eat beautiful, good, high vibratory foods that are natural and organic in every way. Because healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, on alignment. As I said in another video before, this thing is a temple. And in order to keep the temple heated from the furnace, you have to feed the furnace good fuel. And that fuel is good food. And that's what keeps this furnace running. Oops, sorry. Got my wire caught up then. Sorry. But that's what keeps this furnace running. This furnace runs on beautiful organic food. Every day it does. And I fast. Not to give in to fear. As I said, what fear is, everything and run, or face everything and recover or reclaim. Okay? Stay sovereign to yourself. Do not give in to fear and stay sovereign to yourself. Stay focused on the positive constantly of what goods can come out of this, not only for our future, but for ourselves and our family and friends, our loved ones that we support. Okay? The timeline, we have to stay positive on as well. Focus on the timeline of the positivity of what we want to become coming into our reality. What we are trying to bring forth, manifest, bring into reality, our future. Stay focused on the positive. Focus on all things that bring you and others happiness and joy. Be of service to all your sisters and brothers of humanity where you see you can be of service. Be grounded by walking on the ground every day, barefoot, by at least half an hour to an hour a day if you can. If you can. It's important to ground right now and have the frequency of Mother Gaia Earth running through you and keeping you at optimal levels so that you can function and operate properly and stay in vibratory frequency so that you don't fall into a negative. Get out into nature. Go and hug a tree if you have to. I've just written all this, as you can see. I've written it down. Go and hug a tree if you have to. Get out into nature. Reconnect to the spirit and essence of Terra Gaia Earth. She's waiting for us. She is. Because if you look around, there's beauty in everywhere that you look. It's just a matter of the eye of the beholder. And if you see it. Because only with an open mind, open heart, will you not see the negative in everything? You'll see the positive, and you'll see the love that everything was made from. That's the best part, because everything is made from love. Be a lighthouse and a beacon of hope to those who cannot see in the darkness, who do not know what's going on this planet when it all happens. Help them as others have helped you along your way. Be a mentor and a guide, a beacon of light and hope to anyone that has lost their way or is in fear during this possible dark period that we're about to go through. Because it might be upon us. And I'm not trying to induce anyone into fear. Not at all. I'm trying to get you to be aware of the possibilities that your complacency can be a killer. Be alert. Be vigilant. Stay frosty. But be in peace. And just stay in love. Because there's nothing that it can do to harm us. Regardless if they take our physicality away. What you must not fear is that the fact is that you actually exist outside of this framework. The greatest gift we've been given is to be human and have an avatar for this soul to encompass. You want to protect that. And protect it at all costs to a degree, without resorting to violence. But do not give in to fear. Do not give in to hate. Hate leads to the dark side, as Master Yoda once said. So I'm going to leave that there with you all today. And just remember, everyone, I love you all. And just keep those points in mind, because we are winning. And there is nothing they can do to hurt us. There is nothing they can do to take away from us. Just stay positive, stay in love, stay in joy, stay in frequency. We're going to make it. Love yous all. Take care. It's Chris from Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. I'll see yous next time. And remember, unlearn and discern.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.